Okay, so I've gone back and forth on this. If you are a longtime listener to this podcast, first of all, thank you, and like and subscribe to the channel, as well as follow us on Twitter at Seahusker Corner and on Instagram. But I was a Kool-Aid drinker last year.
Yeah.
Big time.
Yeah.
I predicted us to go 10-2,
Yeah.
and my excuse was essentially like, what's the point if you're going to be negative? Was essentially my excuse. And I'm not doing that this year. I've learned my lesson. I'm going to try to be as objective as possible. So yeah. So let's go game by game.
All right.
We play Minnesota.
Go first.
What's up? Sorry.
I'll go
You'll
first.
go
with
first
Minnesota.
each game.
Yeah.
That's fine. So we play Minnesota next
we'll
Thursday.
rotate. We'll rotate.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds good.
I'll go
Sounds
first
good.
with Minnesota. So Minnesota, I actually just recently watched that game last year, just to kind of see like what they had last year versus this year. I looked at a couple of their roster things, like a couple of this goes with like I'm more prepared to do a preview. But anyways, I mean, they lose Tanner Morgan. He was really a non-factor last year. He was banged up. So they have new quarterback. But I think just in terms of new coaching staff on the road, trying to change the culture of winning against PJ Flex teams who, not going to lie, they are up and down. You know, he's gone to bowls. Has he gone to bowl every single year he's been there? Yeah. No, he definitely has.
Yeah.
So they're always a solid team. And you go there with the sloppiness of what a first game always is. It always is sloppy. Away at Minnesota. And I don't think we're going to be able to pull it out, but I don't think it's going to be them running away with it either. So, but I do take that one as an L.
Okay. So, do you want to keep a tally just so we have something written down, or
I have my tally.
Okay. And this is recorded, so we can always look back. So yeah, Minnesota, the first game, it's going to be a tough one. Anytime, I actually thought about this today, anytime your first game is a road game, it's always tough, especially when you're coming into a new program because you can't take as many players. You can only take 74 for your travel roster, 74, 75. I think it's 74, but either way. So like you haven't had any game experience with these dudes to really whittle that roster down to the players you want to take. So you really got to rely on what your eyes are telling you in camp as a coach. So that's a tough aspect to it. It's not going to be cold, you know. It's the first game of the year, so we should be good there. I don't know. Minnesota, they're like you said, they're always a solid team. As much as I hate all of the branding BS that PJ Fleck has, the on-field product is hard to argue with.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think we lose. We'll get into details later. I think it's going to be a closer game though, but I think we're going to lose. So yeah,
all right, so we're both at 0-1.
Yes. So then the next game, September 9th, big noon kickoff, another road game. Nebraska goes on the road to Boulder to play Coach Prime and the Colorado Buffaloes. So if you would have asked me who I would have thought won this game 6 to 8 months ago, I would have said Colorado for sure. But as things have come out with Colorado, as you look at their practice footage, as all the stuff, I just have a hard time believing that they're going to be anywhere close to where Prime wants them to be the first year. Their practice footage looks like a high school footage. I mean, like, I don't know how to get around it. It's just like they post a picture of like all their DBs and it looks like the freshman team. I mean, so it's hard for that to not influence my pick. So I think Nebraska is going to win this game handily. I do. So for me, I have us winning. I have us going in there and winning by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Getting back to 500. All right.
Yeah. 1-1.
No, so for me, this game is a little bit. There's a lot more going on the surface. One, do I think that the media just in general is hyping up Colorado because of Prime? Absolutely. It takes a lot of really great coaching over a year to get a program from where they were to where they are. Some of the pieces that he's brought in from the transfer portal, just by nature of the transfer portal, not all of those people are the most reliable. So I don't think it's going to be what some of the people think it's going to be the first year. And granted, most people aren't really doing that. Most of it is Colorado media, but I have seen some talking heads that think they're going to be really good. So
RJ Young, he has them in his top 25. God,
dude, Joe Klatt said that they're going to be either TCU or us to start the year.
Yeah, I did see that. That.
So
he's not as high of them for their year outlook, though. He just says for their first 2 weeks they're going to steal one of those games. No. But it's just because he's a Colorado homer.
RJ
Young has them in his top 25, bro. That's even worse to me.
That is worse.
They're number 20 in his poll. Sorry, go ahead.
That's crazy. But anyways, no. So if you look at just like another road game, we traveled to Minnesota. Yeah, we get a long more time to prepare because we play on Thursday. They play on a Saturday. So more time to recover, repair in between that. But then you have to turn around, travel again to Colorado. A second road game. I think we lose. I think some of the sloppy stuff still rears its head that made us lose the other game, and I think we lose in a close game.
So why are you giving Joel Klatt all this crap?
Huh?
So why are you giving Joel Klatt? So you agree with Joel Klatt?
No, I don't agree with Joel Klatt, but I just think, just in terms of like the Nebraska side of things, I'm not high on Colorado at all.
He's not either. So, he just says they're going to take one of those first 2 games.
I'm more so. Dude, there's so many unknowns with us. We could suck. Like we could really, really suck. And I think you can look at like practice footage of like these people look like whatever. But yeah, no.
That's my analysis.
Yeah.
They look small.
They look small.
But they do. They do. It's hard to escape it. They do look small.
They do.
Everyone points it out.
I just think from a travel perspective, two road games in a row, it's gonna take a little bit of a toll just on that. I listen, this isn't our like weekly preview. I could change my tune by then. We could blow out Minnesota, and
disclaimer.
I could be like,
disclaimer. These are the preseason predictions.
Yeah,
if it gets to Michigan, if it gets to Michigan and we're 4-0 and looking like insane, maybe our predictions will look a little different by then. But yeah, so we both predict a lot, you predict a loss.
I predict a loss. You predict a win.
I predict a win.
So I have us 0-2 going into Northern Illinois. Okay. Now, this game is a little bit of a. Northern Illinois is one of those teams that basically every other year or so they're pretty decent. They go up and down, never like gangbusters, but they've had good teams.
Is Jordan Lynch still their quarterback? From like 20 years ago.
But anyway, I'm not going to go into it too much. I do think that this is the first win in the Rule era. Coming back home in Memorial Stadium might not be all that jazz coming off of 0-2, but he gets a little bit of a restart. The fans know that they're not expecting like gangbusters. They're expecting progress on the field. And I think the two losses are going to show that the same issues aren't there. They just have to get that culture of winning back. And I do think that they start off with a win here at Memorial Stadium. So
here's the unfortunate reality, and I don't want to get us off topic, but here's the unfortunate reality. The unfortunate reality is, well, okay, you said we need progress. Well, what does progress look like? Winning games. Because the only thing we were lacking was the fact that we would lose games in the fourth quarter. So unfortunately, it's a sort of a rock and a hard place situation. I'm beginning to realize. But yeah, I agree. I have us winning against Northern Illinois. So I have us 2-1 there, and you have us
1-2.
1-2. Okay. So Louisiana Tech, same thing. We'll get into more depth when their preview comes around.
Yeah.
We have superior talent. We should win this game.
I don't know. They have the coldest.
So win. You have a win as well?
Yeah, I have a win as well. So we go to 2-2.
And I'm 3-1. Okay. So Michigan. So
all right.
We're going to the game, which is exciting. I'm excited for that. Just to be on the record.
And thank you.
Because thank you to shout out to Jason Zollner and shout out to our dad for including us. But I do have to put on the record, Dad, if you're listening, I am excited. It's just he the way he told me was he was like he showed me the flight info on the computer. He's like, look, and I saw the date and I was like, Michigan. He was like, yeah, Michigan. I was like, dang it, we went to the OU game last year, now we're going to the Michigan game this year.
Dude, this is my third game in as many years. I went to Ohio State, Oklahoma, and now Michigan.
To be fair, the Ohio State game was an entertaining game. Like, at the very least, it was entertaining. Like, it was a fun spectacle. Like, and it was relatively close the whole game.
Yeah.
Smith and Jigba, and I was thinking about that the other day. Those Ohio State receivers in person, they were really something, man.
Crazy.
Yeah, crazy. But anyway, so Michigan. So do you want to go ahead and give your prediction first, since it's your turn?
Yes, I will. And here's where we divert, probably astronomically. Coming off of 2 wins, we're 2-2. All right. We lost to at least one team that we shouldn't have, but they were on the road. I think by this time the team's gained a little bit of confidence. Rule has them, playing with a lot of heart. On Michigan's side, I don't think Harbaugh is as locked in as people think he is. I think he's always looking for the next thing. And they always come out at least a couple games a year unprepared, and a team plays them close or beats them that they shouldn't lose to. TCU last year, how do you lay that egg? They were the superior talent, whatever. But I think that they do that to us. And I think that we win, and we go to 3-2.
3-2. So I have us a 3-1 going into this game. So under my circumstance, Nebraska will have built a lot of confidence because they lost to Minnesota in a close game, first game of the year, and then they beat the brakes off Colorado, and they starting to get their shit together over the next 3 games, just as a team. So they'll go into Michigan confident. I think that the fact that Bill Bush said something whenever it was announced that it was Big Noon kickoff. He said that usually a noon game can actually throw the better team off of its funk rather than the worst team, because the worst team has this caution to the wind attitude, whereas the better team needs to keep their crap together. And it's sometimes harder to keep your crap together at 11 a.m. than it is at a night game or even an afternoon game. So that's something that's interesting. I just think it's going to be a close loss. That's what I think. I think that we're going to.
All right.
Yes, I think that it'll be potentially like a 1-score situation.
I would take
worst
that, man.
a 2-score. At worst a 2-score, but I think it'll be a 1-score situation. So I have us at 3-2.
3-2.
Okay.
3-2. And listen, like our schedule, our little predictions here, literally only divert from the Colorado game. So that those two could be flipped, and we both have us 3-2 after the Michigan game. So
yes. So Illinois. So with that being said, it's sort of a 2008 versus Texas Tech situation where we lose, but we gained a lot of confidence as a team. But on the road in Champaign at Illinois will probably be a night game. It seems like Nebraska. It seems like the networks love to make Nebraska versus Illinois a night game, even though last year was a day game. I just remember it being at night a lot of the time. And I don't know. I just think that maybe that confidence will be a little bit of false confidence because Michigan's good. I mean, Michigan's great, but Illinois is good. They have a really good front seven and a really good offensive line. So I'm thinking the team collectively might be like, well, we just played Michigan, we can play anybody. And then they run into Illinois and they're like, oh shoot, these fools can play too, So I just think it's going to be another close loss. So I have us at 3-3 in our first 6 games.
Okay. All right. So I have a different, same result, different reasoning. Right now they have the Yips playing away. They haven't won away yet. All their wins have been at home. So they go into Illinois, which is a very good coach team. Brett Bielema, you can love him or hate him just as a person or just how he looks. But he's a good football coach, and his teams are playing with a lot of heart. He loses his defensive coordinator, so that can literally throw an entire team off. Losing a coordinator, you have no clue how much influence that they have until they're gone. But I do think that we lose, and because we have the Yips away right now. So, yep, we lose to them. So next one is
so we're both 3-3, huh?
Both 3-3 going into the Northwestern game.
Okay.
Go ahead, say it.
Okay. So Northwestern. So we play them at home. Northwestern just had a big scandal. They got some scared dude as their coach. So
win we go to 4-3.
So win and we go to 4-3.
Yeah. All right. So
you
Purdue.
go ahead and do Purdue. Yeah.
No, dude. You can have Purdue. You can have Purdue.
Okay. I'll do Purdue. So again, Purdue. Ryan Walters is the new coach of Purdue, the aforementioned defensive coordinator from Illinois last year that we just mentioned in passing. Interesting choice as a head coach from the Purdue perspective because they've generally had offensive guys as their head coach. He's a defensive guy. He's a young guy. From what I understand, there hasn't been too much attrition as far as the transfer portal side. They got Hudson Card as their quarterback from Texas, the guy who Casey was. Yeah, solid quarterback. Casey competed with him. So I don't know. I just have a feeling Purdue's going to take a large step back this year. They were very good last year with Aiden O'Connell and Charlie Jones. That was a good team. I don't think they're going to be that good this year. I think we win, and I think we go to 5-3.
5-3.
Yeah.
Yes,
so Purdue,
right.
Go ahead and give your prediction.
Yeah. Why did I put that there? Sorry, I messed up my win totals. I'm just not realizing. Because I had us, no, because I had us winning this. I have us winning Purdue. Shocker.
You need to put a little abacus on your desk.
Yeah, I have us winning, but then going to 4-4. So that makes no sense. 5-3.
We still can't win. Even when we win, they put it as a loss. That would be a real systematic issue. We would have cause for concern at that point.
For sure. All right. So. All right. So next one, Michigan State.
No. You didn't predict Purdue, did you? Did you predict a win?
I said we win. We win, but I did. Okay. I messed up the win totals. I'm just fixing it right now.
So I have them at 5-3, and you also have them at 5-3, right?
Yep.
Okay. So 5-3 going into the last 4 games. Are we both in agreement? That's sort of what it needs to be in order for us to go bowling. I mean, I don't mean like for rules, job safety. At this point, I don't really think about that. But like,
no.
As far as like to be bowl eligible, we sort of need to be 5-3.
The momentum of everything rules brought. Yes.
Yeah.
To keep that momentum going.
Okay. At Michigan State, go ahead.
So at Michigan State. So here's the thing. I don't think they're going to be very good. And that's not a hot take. A lot of people think that they're going to take a step down. That 1 year is starting to look more like a fluke than it is the new guard at Michigan State. Because they had a lot of really good talent on there. Got a lot of it from the transfer portal that 1 year. But I don't know. Just something about them smells fishy. And I do have us breaking the Yips and winning this game at Michigan State, going to 6-3.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have us win too. I'm going to predict us to win too because I don't know. I'm just thinking about the way that we're approaching all these games, right? especially with teams like Michigan State that are sort of an either or types of teams. It's more of like our analysis is more about, is that team going to be good this year?
Yeah.
Man, I really want to get it back to the point where that's not our central question we ask when we're playing teams. We're asking about Nebraska, because
Yeah.
the idea is that any given night we can beat anybody, right? It doesn't matter what they're doing.
Yeah.
But I agree. I don't think Michigan State's going to be very good this year, and I think because of that reason, I think we're gonna win. I think Michigan State has dug themselves into a huge financial trench, second only to Texas A&M.
Yeah.
But they've dug themselves into one that's comparably big to Texas A&M. I mean his buyout is huge from what I understand.
Yeah.
So we'll see how that goes. But okay, so we got Maryland at home next. Now Maryland is an interesting team because they started to pick up a lot of steam, especially last year as like the fourth best team in the Big Ten. And they got a good quarterback. Taulia Tagovailoa he's good. And I watched them play. They were in every game they played. I mean, every single game they played last year. They were in every game. And Loxley's a good coach. You got to give him credit.
Solid for Maryland.
Yeah. To the point where, I think we win this game, but I think it's very, very close. And I think, matter of fact, we have to come from behind to win this game. I think it's that type of game.
Yeah.
So I have us at 6 or 7.
7 and 3.
7 and 3. Okay.
7 and 3. So for all the things you mentioned, plus one more, I think we're riding pretty high right now. We got bowl eligible for the first time in 7 years.
Yeah, since 2016.
For the first time in 7 years, we got bowl eligible. Beating Michigan State at Michigan State, which is hard to do no matter what the product is on the field. It's a hard place to play. And then we go into a home game
Saban's
against
still the coach, right?
Yeah. We go Saban's still our coach. We go in against a team we should beat just for a pure talent perspective. But at this point in the season, Maryland is playing for a bowl. So they didn't have the start they wanted, but they're still very much in the mix. They're at 5 wins right now. They're really playing for something. We let our guard down and we lose, going to 6 and 4.
6 and 4. Okay.
6 and 4. You're at 7 and
3. Okay.
Going into Wisconsin. So, dude, the biggest. I don't know what they're gonna be. Everyone's just assuming that Fickell's gonna go in there and do the same thing they did in Cincinnati, forgetting that took a couple of years for him to do at Cincinnati, and then the Wisconsin is a completely different animal. We've talked about this before. I think he is changing the entire culture of what that football team was into what he does best, which I don't think that he's not going to be successful in there, but is it going to be this year? I'm not sold. Until I see it, I'm not sold. So like as of right now, going at Wisconsin, I have us winning. So we go to 7 and 4. In my book.
So I'm about to do something kind of funny in my own mind, which is I'm going to predict the opposite of what I actually want to predict. Because the thing that's happening with Wisconsin right now, as far as them changing their identity, what you just mentioned, it's the type of thing that I'll harp on all offseason. Oh, they're going to be bad. They're going to be bad. And then the season comes around and they're exactly as good as everyone said they were, despite all the pitfalls that I saw in their and so I just think that I agree with you. I think that if Wisconsin is average to below average, I think that we'll win this game. But unfortunately, I think that because I don't think they're going to be good, they're going to be good. If that makes sense. And so with that being said, I think this is the blowout of the year. I think that unfortunately, like, Rule is going to sort of take on the Wisconsin shadow that almost every head coach has had here with having the occasional blowout loss to them or just getting embarrassed by them in general. which started with Bo, of course. And we haven't been getting embarrassed lately, but it's like it's been such close games, and we just lose, and we still get big brothered by them, if that makes sense. They still run all over us and take the clock down and all the stuff. But I think this year, unfortunately, I think the analysis that general people have, I fear that it's going to be correct. And I fear because of that, on the road, coming off of a 4-game winning streak, according to me, another game with a little bit of false confidence, and I think we lose pretty
Going
handily.
7-4 for you.
7-4 at that point.
7-4. Okay, so we're both at the same. We're both at 7-4.
Yes.
This is interesting. Going into Iowa, the last game of the season. It's in Memorial Stadium. I think that the wheels have completely come off of Iowa season at this point. Brian Ferentz has already been fired. And the nepotism circle has gone full, and I think Kirk actually even might be on the hot seat at this point. So I'm going to go with a win, bringing our season total to 8-4.
Yeah. So, okay. So you look at Iowa, and they can't. I mean, really, what they just got to do is they just got to bet on themselves, No, but the Cade McNamara, transfer quarterback. He's the perfect fit as an Iowa quarterback. They don't need Cam Newton as their quarterback. Matter of fact, Coach Ferentz might not even like if someone like Cam Newton was his quarterback.
Yeah,
just because he can't control it. So he's a good game manager. I think he fits them like a glove. I think their offense is improved. But I think because of just the sort of cloud that's surrounding that program right now with the scandal and with, nepotism and with all this stuff, I think culturally the program takes a little bit of a hit. So I think that while their offense will be improved, the team overall won't be as good. So because of that, oh man, and if the betting stuff didn't come out before this, I would have predicted a loss. But honestly, that, you think about that stuff, that does affect that type of stuff does affect a program. So I predict a win. And if you asked me a couple days ago, we would have been going, 7-5 or 6-6 even. But I said it wasn't going to be Kool-Aid heavy, but 8-4 is more wins than pretty much everybody else is predicting. So it's still a little bit of Kool-Aid heavy.